Welcome to 99th Monkey Liberty News for Monday, October 27th, 2014. I didn't get a 99th Monkey video together on Friday morning, which I had said that on Thursday that I wouldn't. And that was because I was working on a project, collaborating on a project with some friends, and we completed it. And this is the project, Wake Up Winston, How Do You Spell Ebola? And we submitted it to InfoWars for the contest that Alex had about putting posters up, because one of the characters puts posters up. And this is actually a revised version. The version that was submitted for InfoWars went up Friday, and we did just a few revisions over the weekend because we were in such a hurry that we could have done lots more, and hopefully will with future episodes. So it seems as if humor is a good way to get truth out there, and we can talk as much as we want and give people links, give people information, but sometimes we seem to come to a dead end. So some friends and I decided to try a little somewhat different approach. And please leave comments. We'd really appreciate knowing your thoughts on this. From Yahoo Finance, Deutsche Bank lawyer found dead by suicide in New York. So yeah, this is another dead banker. And here's an interesting article from InfoWars. 24 cops in armored military vehicles sent to loot a 75-year-old's retirement fund. Escorted to bank and forced to withdraw $80,000 and hand it over to the police because the senior citizen may have been argumentative. And I actually went to InfoWars to look for a story from the New York Times that Alex is mentioning about the IRS descending on a 70-year-old woman because they alleged that she was trying to be deceptive about how much money she was actually making because she made small deposits, never deposited more than $10,000. And it's astonishing, completely astonishing, how to the degree to which Americans are permitting this behavior toward other Americans. It's crucial that right now we stand up and let people in government know that, and I use the term loosely, that this is not acceptable, that we're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore. They go after the weak first. They go after the elderly. They go after those who are unable to defend themselves. They go after the poor, while presenting themselves as the defenders and heroes of the weak and the poor. It's absurd. I will find a link to the New York Times article about the IRS and include that in the notes and in the details. It's just astonishing. InfoWars doesn't often surprise me these days, but I was just really caught and listened to Alex's entire rant about that, because it's so over the edge and it's so out in the open. The fact that the New York Times has this article, people are becoming aware of it. And from organicconsumers.org, now I've mentioned before that I don't completely agree with this organization because they believe in man-caused global warming, humankind-caused global warming. But at the same time, they have a lot of really good information. I believe they probably have good intentions. So, essay of the week, this is from their newsletter, which I receive by email. Is the boycott strategy working? And they are giving the numbers here of how much these big corporations are investing in the states that have labeling bills proposed. And the election's in, 2 weeks, week and a half maybe. It's coming up very soon. And so they list how much Monsanto gave and how involved DuPont and Monsanto are. And they are, the question is, has the boycott strategy worked? Are we effectively boycotting these companies? Well, they still have a lot of money to invest in these elections. And the conclusion of this article is, this much is clear, it's time to step up the pressure on all of the brands owned by companies that are pouring millions of dollars into defeating your right to know what products contain GMOs. So how do we know? I remembered a chart from some time ago, and I looked for it. This is one of the charts that I found. This is from cornucopia.org, and this shows what companies use organic and what companies use biotech, corporate agribusiness biotech. So this doesn't actually have all of the details, but this chart does. And I opened this from policy.mike, and it's mike.com. The truth about who owns organic food companies in one chart. This chart shows who owns the food that we, even if we believe it, even if it's labeled organic. Many of the organic brands are owned by huge conglomerates. And part of this article states that the number of independent organic food producers is now down to 15. And all of the other organic food producers are owned by one of these companies. The brown circles are organic brands that have merged or been acquired, while the yellow circles are the food processors that bought them out. The number in the yellow circles refer to the company's rank in North American food and beverage sales. Some of the major corporations include Pepsi, J&J, Snack Foods, Nestle, Hillshire Brands, ConAgra, Coca-Cola, and Miller Coors, not caring nurturers. So it's crucial to know these things and know who you're buying your food from. Know who's getting your money. Since 1995, the number of independent organic food processing companies in the U.S. has been cut down from 81 to 15. Today, almost all of the organic food on our shelves is produced by a handful of multinational corporations. So, yeah, they're picking up on the trend. Sure, great. But the bottom line is they still have power over us. They still control what we eat, and to the extent that we buy their products. And they still have the money to push for things that benefit them and further their agenda. So the more we can pull the plug on these companies, have our own gardens, buy from local farmers, independent farmers, cook from scratch, and just shut these companies down. From Mario Murillo Ministries, ex-CBS reporter reveals how liberal media protects Obama. And Mario has written here also about a letter that he has received. It actually might be in another blog of his, that pastors have been instructed not to give any kind of political advice or make statements from the pulpit. So Mario is pretty stirred up right now, and I'm so glad he is. I wish that many, many, many more pastors were, and I hope that they will follow his lead and be true to their principles, true to their faith, and begin to expose some of this evil, as Cheryl Atkinson is doing. CBS reporter gives the most devastating proof ever of how the media protects Obama. And this was personal experiences that she had. She is no longer at CBS, and she has written this book, Stonewalled: My Fight for Truth Against the Forces of Obstruction, Intimidation, and Harassment in Obama's Washington. And I actually had personal interface with her assistant when she was trying to interview Ian Garland. And she had an interview set up, and that was shut down by the prison. And she has been opposed, and really this is all presented from, as you know, kind of a conservative versus liberal point of view. That has been her experience. And as we know, the truth is, it doesn't matter whether you're conservative or liberal. What matters is that you're trying to expose truth. And whichever position you come from, when you try to expose truth, someone tries to shut you down. So great testimony from Cheryl Atkinson. This is in the mainstream. She was a CBS reporter, widely respected. I think she won some awards. And if people can't hear her and begin to understand what's going on, we need to get on our knees and pray some more. Of course, we need to get on our knees and pray some more. Anyway, Alex Jones had a very interesting guest last week, Tosh Plumley, and he was writing about, or talking about, more scandals that have been in the mainstream and are increasing to be in the mainstream, as long as we don't let it die. Talking about Benghazi and Fast and Furious, and how this will affect America's future. Before we go on, and Mario Murillo has written this too, we can't really move on as a nation until we address what happened in Benghazi. And there are a lot of other issues that are also significant. But these things need to be recognized, need to be addressed, need to be talked through, and the truth needs to come out. And people, it's appropriate to feel outrage. It's appropriate to feel outrage about what the IRS is doing. It's nice to be nice. There's an old quote from Frank Burns and MASH. It's nice to be nice to the nice. But there are times, he was a dork anyway, there are times when outrage is the appropriate response. And outrage is what Benjamin Fulford is calling for. He made this 4-minute video, Ottawa shooting coup d'etat. Benjamin Fulford is from Ottawa, Canada. So he took this very personally. And he exposed what happened as the Bush Nazis trying to oppose, making an effort to oppose good people, if I can use that term, in Canada's Parliament. And in this short video, Benjamin Fulford, and no, this is not Benjamin Fulford, she introduces him. Benjamin Fulford is calling for military to respond in Canada and the United States and defend our nations from these criminals that are masquerading as government. And for the good news of the day, I have the Poofness report. All is continuing to progress. All is continuing to fall into a system that is being checked and rechecked. Glitches come and go. Intenders are at work, and the watchers are also. According to Poof and Zap and some other people, there are military and other good guys working behind the scenes to give us a new world, cleansed of Babylon. And by Babylon, I don't mean the Babylon in the Middle East, I mean the spiritual Babylon. And the one that Bob Marley was, Babylon enthroned, going down. Bob Marley, Rest a Man Chant Live. And one reason I included this is I've been reading portions of the book of Jeremiah in the Bible around the mid-chapter 40s. And what happens to Babylon, is God in at that time used Babylon to judge Israel. And then judgment came on Babylon. And Babylon is, a lot of the false gods and the occultic, esoteric things, that the ideas and ideals that the Cabal embrace are Babylonian, Egyptian, and there's just this idea of the system being Babylonian and evil, again, not directly tied to the people of Iran right now or Iraq, but the roots, the spiritual roots that go back, and the demonic entities that participate in these kind of cultures. So yes, Babylon enthroned, going down. May it be so in the name of Jesus. Thank you for tuning in for today's 99th Monkey Liberty News. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty and justice for all.